Good morning everyone. This is Pavani. Today I would like to take for 8th to 10th class figures of speech that is very important for 8th to 10th standard. Okay, so let us see. Actually, I am going to teach many are there figures of speech, but I am going to teach only 12 figures of speech which is useful for you in your standard. Okay, so let us see. Now, simile, metaphor, personification, antithesis. Still it is there. I'm going to teach first four. After that, again, I'll explain the remaining. Okay. So let us see what is a simile. Okay. What is a simile? In 8th class, you have come across this word simile, personification and metaphor. Okay. So now, what is a simile? Simile means what? A comparison is made between two terms by using like, as, so. In a sentence, okay, when you see a sentence, if three words are there like, so, as, if these three words are there and if a comparison is made between two terms, then we call it as simile. Okay, so see here, a comparison is made between two terms by using like, as, so. For example, here, he is as wise as an owl. Okay, I compared him with what? Owl. Okay, I made a comparison between a person and an owl. So he is as wise as an owl. So what is the word I have used to compare these two persons? To compare like what? With the, like what? With an owl, with a human being. So what I have used here? As. Okay, he is as wise. Wise nothing but what? Intelligent. What is the meaning of wise? Intelligent. Okay, so he is as wise as an owl. So to compare these two, I have used the word what? As. So what is the definition of simile here? A comparison is made between two terms by using like, as, so. Three are there, like, as, so. In these three, any one when we use, okay, that is called what? Simile. In a sentence, when we make a comparison between two terms by using like, as, so. Any one, like, as, or so. In this any one word when we use to compare two between two, then we call it as what? Simile. Okay. Then next, what is metaphor? What is metaphor here? A comparison is made between two unlike terms without using as, like, so. Comparison was made but without using the terms what? Like, as and so. Simile means what? When we make a comparison, at that time when we use like, as, so is called simile. Then what is metaphor? Metaphor means what? Here a comparison was made between two unlike terms but without using as, like, so. That is called what? Metaphor. Now see, for example, the camel is the ship of the desert. Okay, the camel is the ship of the desert. So already the comparison was made. The camel is the ship of the desert. Okay, when you see such kind of sentences, already the comparison was made but without using as, like and so, then it is called what? Metaphor. So the camel is the ship of the desert. Already the comparison was made. Okay. Now, for example, one more sentence. Richard was a lion in the fight. Richard was a lion in the fight. So, how he fought? Like a lion. But did we use here like? No. Without using like, we made a comparison. What is that? Richard was a lion in the fight. Was a lion in the fight means what? He fought like a lion in the fight, in the battle. Okay. So, that means we made a comparison without using what? As, like and so. That is called what? Metaphor. So now you have to remember one point. Metaphor can be compressed into simile. Metaphor can be, expressed into simile. So metaphor can be changed into simile. Okay. So now here, Richard was a lion in the fight. Example I have taken here. Okay. Already the comparison was made. So how we can change this metaphor into simile? Now you see, Richard fought like a lion. So this only gives the meaning as Richard was a lion in the fight means already the comparison was made. But without using as, like and so. The same sentence can be expressed into what? Simile. So how we can change? Richard fought like a lion. Okay. So I hope you have understood the difference between these two. Simile means what? A comparison is made between two terms by using as, like and so is called what? Simile. When we are comparing between two by using as, like and so is called what? Simile. When we make a comparison between two unlike terms but without using as, like and so, comparison was made but no as, like and so. We did not use any word like as, like and so. Then that is called what? Metaphor. Metaphor can be expressed into simile. Okay. So now we go for next one is what? Third one, personification. So what is personification? Taking inanimate objects and considering as it has life. Actually, inanimate objects means what? In the television we can see Chota Bheem. Okay, some cartoon shows we can see. In cartoon shows, actually, are they human beings? Are they human beings? No. Just they are like what? It is an animated video. Okay, so taking inanimate objects and considering as it is having life. The objects which doesn't have life, okay, showing that as it is having life is called what? Personification. In many poems we have seen that poet imagines, okay, in his imagination he will write that there is a garden in my heart. Okay, but there is a garden in my heart means, is there a garden in your heart? It doesn't mean that, but it is the poet's imagination. Okay, that is called what? Personification. Taking inanimate objects and considering that as it is having life is called what? Personification. Okay, so now let us see. The flowers are laughing. The flowers are laughing. Will the flowers will laugh? Will the flowers will laugh? No. That is what? Again, personification, imagination. That's it. Okay, so one more example if we take, the clouds are dancing. Will they dance? No, they will not dance. Okay, but it is imagination. So what is personification here? Taking inanimate objects and considering as it is having life. It doesn't have life, but thinking that it is having life. That is called what? Personification. Next we go for antithesis. What is antithesis? An antithesis is a figure of speech in which two contrasting ideas are placed near in a sentence. So antithesis, anti, nothing but opposite. Okay, thesis means what? Statement, opposite statement. The word itself is giving the meaning to us. Okay, anti means opposite, thesis means what? Statement. So an antithesis is a figure of speech in which two contrasting ideas are placed near in a sentence. Now see, for example, man proposes and God disposes. Man proposes and God disposes. Man is what? Proposing, and God is disposing. Opposite of propose is what? Dispose. So one idea will be in positive and one idea will be in negative. Okay, so now see here, one statement is in positive and one statement is in negative. Opposite ideas are placed side by side. See here, antithesis means what? An antithesis is a figure of speech in which two contrasting ideas are placed near in a sentence. Man proposes and God disposes. Okay, man proposes and God disposes. So now here, proposes opposite is what? Disposes. One idea is in positive and one idea is in negative. Okay, two opposite ideas are placed side by side. That is called antithesis. When you see in a sentence, one is in positive, one is in negative. Otherwise, you can understand whether it is like what? One is like meaning opposite, two opposite ideas when it is placed together, we can understand it as antithesis. So I hope these four you have understood. Let us see the other. Okay. Now fifth one is alliteration. What is alliteration? The words beginning with same vowels or consonant sound is called alliteration. It is the repetition of the sounds at the beginning of many words. Now see here, the words beginning with the same vowels or consonant sound. Okay, the words beginning with the same vowels or consonant sound is called what? Alliteration. The beginning of the words with the same vowels or consonant sound is called what? Alliteration. It is the repetition of the sounds at the beginning of many words. Where it will be? At the beginning. Either vowel or consonant sound, it will be at the beginning. That is called what? Alliteration. Okay, the beginning of the words. Okay, with same vowel sound or consonant sound is called what? Alliteration. Now for example, you see, run and recover the real one. What I told you, either vowel sound or consonant sound. Okay, run and recover the real one. Now see here, what is at the beginning? At the beginning, it is the repetition of the sounds at the beginning of many words. Okay, repetition. Which letter is repeating in this sentence now? R is repeating. You see, run, recover, real. Okay, and this comes under what? Consonant. This comes under what? Consonant. So you have to underline R, R and R. This is called what? Alliteration. Okay, the repetition of the same sound, either consonant or vowel sound at the beginning of many words. Okay, consonant or vowel sound at the beginning of many words. That is called what? Alliteration. Either vowel sound or consonant sound at the beginning of many words. That is called what? Alliteration. For example, next, Faithful friends from flattering foe. Foe is nothing but what? Enemy. Okay. Again, which letter is repeating here? F. Again, F comes under what? F comes under consonant. So F, 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 F. You have to underline. So where you will get actually figures of speech in poetic device. Okay. So in a poem, they will ask you, in this poem, which line you can see alliteration is there. Find out in the poem alliteration. Then you have to underline in the stanza. In which stanza, which line comes under alliteration, which line comes under simile, which line comes under metaphor, like that. Okay. So now, what is alliteration? The words beginning with the same vowel or consonant sound is called alliteration. The repetition of the sounds at the beginning of many words. Okay. So now, for example, next one. So example I gave you, run and recover the real one. In that, R is repeating. So you have identified R is the word which is repeating in the sentence, and that is what? Consonant. Okay. Then next, sixth one is what? Assonance. What is that sixth one? Assonance. A-S-S-O-N-A-N-C-E. Assonance. So the repetition of a vowel sound in the middle or at the end of many successive words in a poetic line. Now see the difference for alliteration and assonance. Here the words beginning with the same vowel or consonant sound, and here assonance means what? The repetition of the vowel sound in the middle or at the end of many successive words. Either it will be in the middle or at the end of many successive words. Okay. So what is that? The repetition of only vowel sound, not consonant. Okay. The repetition of vowel sound either in the middle or at the end of many successive words. Now for example, the bride is shining bright in the new attire. Attire nothing but what? New costume, new dress. Okay. So the bride. Now what I told you, the repetition of vowel sound. Which letter? Vowel. Okay. Vowel sound is repeated. Now what is vowel in the bride? I is vowel. And again see here. In each word you have to underline I and you have to show that this is assonance. Okay. So now what is assonance? The repetition of vowel sound either in the middle or at the end of many successive words. Okay. That you have to remember. Okay. What is assonance? Assonance means what? The repetition of the vowel sound either in the middle. Now bride, it is the I is in the middle. Vowel I is in the middle. Okay. And sometimes it may be at the end also. Either it will be in the middle or at the end of many successive words. That is called what? Assonance. Okay. The next one is what? Consonance. Okay. Assonance means only vowel sound. Okay. Then what is consonance? The repetition of consonant sound in the middle or at the end. Assonance means only vowel sound in the middle or at the end. Consonance means only consonant sound either in the middle or at the end. Alliteration means two, vowel and consonant. Okay. So now here, as consonance means what? The repetition of a consonant sound in the middle or at the end of a successive words. Now take the book back. Take the book back. So now see here, K is what? Consonant. Okay. Which letter? Now see here, identify the consonant in the given. So now see here, K is consonant. What I told you, either in the middle or at the end of the many successive words. K. End, book. In book, K is the last letter. End, it has come. And again, back. Back is the last letter in the word back. So consonant either it will be in the middle or at the end of the sentence. That is called what? Consonants. Repetition of consonant sound either in the middle or at the end of the successive words is called what? Consonants. Assonance means what? The repetition of the vowel sound. Assonance means only vowel sound. Consonance means only consonant sound. Okay. So assonance means what? The repetition of a vowel sound either in the middle or at the end of many successive words. Okay. So alliteration means the words beginning with the same vowel sound or consonant sound at the beginning of many successive words. Here vowel sound, consonant sound at the beginning only. Okay. Whereas assonance means either in the middle, only vowel sound. Assonance means what? Only vowel sound either in the middle or at the end of many successive words. Then consonants means what? Only consonant sounds, either the repetition of consonant sounds either in the middle or at the end of many successive words. That is called what? Consonants. Okay. So now next, eighth one is what? Oxymoron. What is eighth one? Oxymoron. So what is oxymoron? An oxymoron consists of two words which are opposite in meaning. Oxymoron means what? It consists of two words which are opposite in meaning. These two opposite words are placed side by side. two, okay, combination of two words like what? Love, hate, friend, foe, okay, friend, foe. So now what is the opposite word of love? Hate. So it will be side by side. Friend, what is friend? Foe. Okay, friend opposite word is what? Enemy. Enemy nothing but foe here. So now what is oxymoron? An oxymoron consists of two words which are opposite in meaning. Okay, they are opposite in meaning to the given word. These two opposite words are placed side by side. That is called what? Oxymoron. So oxymoron means two opposite ideas. Okay, opposite in meaning are placed side by side. Oxymoron means consists of two words, combination of two words, set of two words you have to remember. Okay, then next one, paradox. What is paradox? Okay, paradox means what? A paradox is a statement which seems to be contradictory or meaningless. So paradox means what? When we read the sentence, we don't understand, we feel that it is meaningless. If someone talks something also, first when we don't understand, we feel that what nonsense he is talking, all meaningless sentences. But once again, if we repeat the sentence, we can understand what is the meaning lying in it. Okay, so now see here, paradox means what? A paradox is a statement which seems to be contradictory or meaningless, but it turns to be a good sense if we interpret it, if we analyze it. Okay, if we analyze it, definitely we will understand the underlying meaning of that. Okay, so now cowards die many times before their death. That is the example. Okay, cowards means what? Who are not brave. Brave opposite word is what? Coward. Cowards die. Okay, those who are not brave, they die many times before their death. If at all, if they go in the battlefield, okay, if they are not brave enough, every moment they'll be thinking of their death. Oh my god, maybe I may not fight in this battle, I will die. Like that, the cowards will die many times before their death. Generally, when we write this sentence or when we hear from someone, we don't understand. But when we repeat it twice, then when we analyze it, we will understand what is the meaning which is there. Okay, that is called what? Paradox. Paradox means what? It is a statement which seems to be meaningless. But when we in turn, when we read, when we understand it, when we analyze it, we will get the meaning of that sentence. That is called what? Paradox, which seems to be meaningless, but it will have a meaning. That is only paradox. Okay. Then the 10th one. What is 10th one? Hyperbole. What is 10th one? Hyperbole. So what is hyperbole? It is an exaggeration or overstatement. It is an exaggeration or overstatement. Overstatement means what? See, for example, whatever the quality we have, okay, beyond that we will talk extra, no? That is called what? Exaggeration. Okay, so we have a good quality, like what, for example, you are having a good quality, many of them have praised you, so because of that you will become overconfident and you will be telling many things about yourself, great. Instead of telling other people about you, you yourself you will be telling about you. That is called what? Exaggeration. Whatever is there, instead of that, beyond that you will tell. That means extra you'll add something and you will say, no? That is called what? Exaggeration or overstatement. So have you understood? Hyperbole. So now what is the example? See, it is used to insist something. When you are trying to tell something, you'll insist. Okay, when you are insisting, you will use the word hyperbole. Okay, and it is mostly used for comic effect. Okay, it is mostly used for what? Comic effect. Then the example is given here. The buildings in the New York touch the sky. So the people, those who don't stay in New York, okay, if at all, if it is a village person, the persons, those who are staying in New York, they'll be telling to the village people that in our place, okay, in our country, the buildings in New York touch the sky. So the people, those who are staying in the village, if they don't understand, they believe that. That is called what? Exaggeration here. Okay. So that means, will it touch the sky? The buildings in the New York, will it touch the sky? No. But it is an overstatement. It is an overstatement. Whatever is there beyond that, when we add extra and we tell, no, that is called overstatement. That is nothing but exaggeration, and that is hyperbole. Hyperbole means what? It is an exaggeration or overstatement. So alliteration, assonance, consonance, oxymoron, paradox and hyperbole. Still other two are there. Hope everyone have understood this. Okay. So let us go to the remaining two. Yes. Now 11th one we will see. Okay. Litotes. What is litotes? It is also known as understatement and it is the opposite of hyperbole. Why I said it is the opposite of hyperbole? Hyperbole means what? It is an exaggeration or overstatement. Whatever is there, beyond that extra we add and we say. That is called what? Hyperbole. And it is quite opposite to hyperbole. What? Litotes. Because here whatever is there, even though you does something, you will say that I didn't do. Even though you are a great personality, you will say that I am not a great person. That is called what? What is there also you will not accept. That is called litotes. Okay. Here hyperbole means it is an exaggeration or overstatement. Okay, you have something, but beyond that you will add something and you will say. That is called hyperbole. And whereas litotes is quite opposite to hyperbole, because whatever is their quality also, you will not say that I am having so and so quality. That is only litotes. Okay, so it is also known as understatement. Okay, it is also known as what? Understatement. It is the opposite of hyperbole. Okay, whatever is there also, here it will not be said. Now see here, it can be used for many purposes, but most often it is used to create irony. Okay, for example, a great scientist is saying I am not intelligent. Actually scientist means intelligent person, but a great scientist is saying that I am not intelligent, more than me some other people are also there. The people will say like that. That is called what? Litotes. Okay, hyperbole means, okay, though a person is having a good quality, but extra something adding and saying is called exaggeration, overstatement. That is hyperbole. Okay, whatever is there, if they say, no problem, but we are adding extra and saying, then we call it as hyperbole. And whereas litotes is quite opposite to hyperbole, whatever is there also they will not say. That is called what? That is called what? Litotes. So now it is also known as understatement. It is the opposite of hyperbole. Okay, so it can be used for many purposes, but most often it is used to create a irony. Okay, so example, a great scientist is saying I am not intelligent. What a great scientist is saying? I am not intelligent. Even though he is intelligent, but he is not saying that I am an intelligent person. Okay, that is only litotes. The next last one, 12th one, I told you that we are going to learn 12 figures of speech. Okay, this is the last one. Anaphora. What is anaphora? Anaphora means repetition of same words but the place changes. Okay, anaphora means what? Repetition of same words but the place changes. So here the eyes is here. Okay, the same word, the eyes is here. Then the next sentence, the eyes is there. Repetition of same word, eyes, but the place is changing. Here to there, here to there. The eyes is here, the eyes is there. Repetition of same words but the place changes. That is called what? Anaphora. What is that? Anaphora. Repetition of same words but the place changes is called what? Anaphora. So we have learned what? Figures of speech 1 to 12. Okay, so 12 figures of speech I have taught you in this class. I hope everyone have understood very clearly. To get a clear understanding, every one of you once again listen the class very clearly, so that, and you also you can make some sentences and you can find out what is the figure of speech of that sentence. Okay, in that way you try to learn. So hope everyone have understood this 12 figures of speech. Then again I'll come with the next topic in my next class. Thank you everyone.